This time I'm going to be making these wooden phone cases. Well, actually they're just plastic cases with veneer stuck to the back, but in my opinion that's the better way to do it. Not only do entirely wood cases end up being quite chunky, but they're also extremely difficult to make. I'll be showing you how to make this iPhone 4S case because this technique works so well with phone cases with an entirely flat back. But I'll also be experimenting with a second phone case which doesn't have an entirely flat back, and that's for the Nexus 5, which is the phone I own, which I thought was also worth giving a shot. Unless for some reason you're desperate to get your smartphone covered in sawdust and glue, the first thing you're going to want to do is make a substitute phone like this out of wood. As a base for these wooden covered phone cases, I'm using these very cheap plastic cases which I picked up on eBay for less than £2 each. I'm starting off by lightly scuffing the back of the phone case to provide a better surface for the glue to adhere to. I would actually recommend that you do this step by hand, as using the belt sander as I'm doing here can tend to create quite a bit of heat which could potentially damage your thin plastic case. I'm cutting out the walnut burl veneer which I'll be using with a Stanley knife, although straight grain veneers will work even better. Now I'm ready to go ahead and glue the veneer to the plastic case, and I'm using some 5-minute epoxy for that, which should just about give me enough working time if I'm quick about it. So it's at this point I realise I'm about to glue my substitute phone to the inside of the case, so I quickly use some masking tape to cover up where the holes in the back of the case are. I'm wrapping the case as tightly as I can in masking tape, which I'm hoping will apply pressure to the curved edges of the case as well as to the back. Instead of masking tape, you could also try using lots of elastic bands. And the glue up for the iPhone case is much easier, as I can just use a couple of clamps to apply a light amount of pressure. With the glue dry now on these cases, I'm ready to move on to what will be the most boring stage in this entire process, and that's removing all of the squeeze out glue and just cleaning up the edges to where it looks nice and neat. And I've actually kind of started on the iPhone case already, and so I'm about to do some work on the Nexus case. I've already gone ahead and cut away the excess on the iPhone case, and that worked out pretty nicely. Now it's not quite as simple for the Nexus case because of the curve around the sides. I won't just be able to trim along the edges, and because there's some areas of sort of quite poor adhesion. So what I thought I would do instead, just using a ruler and a Stanley knife again, I'm just going to trim along the edge where the very beginning of the curve starts, and I think that will look alright. Just by cleaning up those edges, it's already looking a lot better than it was. If you don't have a bunch of power tools at your disposal, you can certainly use hand tools to do the same thing. Here I'm using a cabinet scraper to clean up the glue squeeze out on the iPhone case. I'm using this multi-tool, although you might know it as a Dremel tool, to cut out the little camera hole in the back of the case. With all that sanding done now, I'm applying a few coats of finishing oil to the veneer. I think you certainly could try using lacquer or something like that, but I'm a bit concerned that a film finish like that would just get too scratched from day-to-day use. Added to the fact that I don't really have the time available to me to apply a finish like that, I'm happy to use the finishing oil. As I expected, the iPhone 4S case did come out a lot better than the Nexus 5 case, but that being said, the Nexus 5 case did still come out a lot better than I expected it would, so I'm very pleased with the finished result. I titled this video a DIY project because I expect all of you to be doing this project yourself. So if any of you end up with some finished phone cases, send me some pictures over on Facebook. There's some links down in the description. It would be great to see what you come up with. As always, be sure to like, share, comment and subscribe before you go. Take care everyone. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.